Welcome to the sanctuary. You know I like to keep it raw because we are authentic. Always love. Always love. This is what it is. Always love.
My name is Umeko Fabies. It is UMEKOFAIBEES.
Please state your age.
I am going to be turning 609 this year.
Please state your location.
I am from Baltimore, Maryland.
And do you have any special labels of identity?
She, they, them, they.
What guided you onto your current path in life?
Just trying to find a way to deal with my mental health because I found that medication wasn't really doing anything. So I felt like it was something else that I needed to deal with besides taking medication. It was something deep rooted. So one of my partners got me started with crystals, and then started teaching me about meditation and things of that nature. And then along the lines of being in and out of hospitals, I learned how to communicate and how to deal with myself. And then I stumbled upon trauma therapy, which has helped with shadow work. And it's helping me to stay deep rooted in me and knowing my authentic self. I'm sorry.
No, it
was me and my fast face.
Oh, sorry.
We're just gonna run it back. Starting at trauma therapy, please.
Okay, so I took trauma therapy, which then helped me with my shadow work, which was dealing with my inner child, and figuring out how to nurture her and be kind to her and be the parent to her that I lacked or my mom wasn't capable of doing because she didn't receive the same thing. So just becoming way more authentic with myself and knowing myself and feeling connected to self.
What are two of the biggest challenges you had to overcome to be where you are in this present moment?
One challenge was accepting myself and accepting my faults and my failures, and the other was overcoming those negative intrusive thoughts because they had me in a very not so good place. So those were the two challenges that I have overcome tremendously, but I'm still working on.
Thank you for that. You mentioned acceptance of self. What form of self-love are you practicing in this present moment to accept yourself more?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm learning to accept that it is okay for me not to overextend myself if that means sacrificing myself. I'm learning to accept the way that I am. And the way that I am, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So just accepting my core self. Just accepting my core self and
But how are you doing that?
I am doing that by making sure I check in with myself when certain things arise, when I feel my soul shift or I feel constricted. I've learned to sit and accept that I can sit by myself and think about what's going on, how to solve it, how I'm feeling. And that's something that it took me a while to accept of how I'm feeling over top of how someone else feels. So, and the way that I go about that is journaling and meditating and stretching and having self-talks and just doing anything that makes my inner child happy, basically.
does self-love means to you?
It means accepting yourself for the things that you don't like about yourself. It's putting yourself first. No matter the circumstances, you need to think about you first, because if you don't think about you, who else is thinking about you? Self-love is just doing anything for myself that makes me happy. So
No limits, right?
Yeah.
There's no limits to the way that we can embrace, witness, and embody ourselves. And so now we're talking about this limitlessness. When you think about the word limitlessness, is that a word? Okay, when you think about that word, what comes to the forefront?
infinite.
Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy you said that.
Yeah.
What is your meaning of divinity?
I guess just anything happening at the moment that it's supposed to happen.
It's hard multitasking. I'm going to front you right now. Okay. Oh, fuck, what she said. Forgive me.
I know you was in the
Forgive
zone.
me.
I seen your facial expression change. I knew you was focused. It's anything happening at the time that it's just supposed to happen.
How has the essence of divinity shown up in your life recently?
Okay. So aligning with King from Realmscape and just talking to him, like I was sitting the other day just thinking about that, like how things happen in divine timing and what comes of it when you know. So I went over, and when I went over to buy some ears from him, I told him, I was wondering if you needed help, because I was observing of how you were trying to be in two places at once and you were missing sales. So I asked him, if you need help. I know from my friend Sakani that, we can offer an extension of help without, like a volunteer type of opportunity to help out another small business. So, I won't say small, they're big businesses. But just saying something to him about that has opened the door for me to be able to meet more people that dress like how I am. It felt so good for us to go to Home Depot, all of us dressed as we are, and people just be like, are you guys, is there something going on today? Are you going to a convention or something? And it's like, no, we're just like this. And just talking to him, he wanted the same thing, more people that he can just walk around as his face self. And that just opened up an opportunity for me to be able to meet more people that are like me, like openly, and to be able to extend my business, because I'll reach more of my audience for what I make my jewelry for. So
thank you for taking us on a time travel journey.
Sorry,
I was there and I saw you guys. You guys were looking freaking cute. So I sense this is one of your favorite ways to embody your truths, as you're becoming your most authentic aware.
Yes.
What are two other ways that you embody your truths? And when I speak of embodiments, it's just how you show up in the world.
By serving one of my purposes, which is to be there for someone else in whatever way that shows up for in that moment. Your face.
Do you feel empowered enough to create your own reality?
Yes, I live in delusion like every day, buddy.
Why you say delusion?
I say it's a delusion now because I'm looking at memories from my higher self of where I will be, but I'm not there at the current moment. So for right now, I just live in that state of that's where I'm getting to, that's what's gonna happen. Whatever I want, I will attract and manifest. So
So for those who are in that same space, but when they hear the word delusion, they think about all the negative connotations that come with it. What advice do you have for those in that space?
I feel like whatever you think about wanting to achieve, do that. Like there is no limit to what you can do if you just keep striving for it. And whatever way that is, show up however you need to show up at that moment. But know that it's a it's a it's a thought that is thought about because your higher self is transmitting that to you that this is something that is obtainable. Like you want to be a millionaire, you can do that. Figure out how to become a millionaire, but you can do that. Man, that can happen by chance. One day you just decide, oh, I'm gonna go play the lottery, and that's the only time you ever play the lottery, but you managed to hit them numbers. Instant millionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an endless possibilities to how you can get to where you want to get to. You just have to trust in yourself and trust in the universe. Yes, like it's attainable.
I love that. I love that. We've talked a lot about you pouring yourself into you and extending yourself to others. I want to know a little bit more about what your legacy is and how do you plan to imprint that legacy on the world?
My legacy is to create generational wealth, but that is in a sense of not just finances, but mental and emotional balance within myself so that I can pass that down to people that come around me, my kids, and just to break that cycle of trauma and things of that nature. That's one. I would like to get to a point where I can have a consistent and limitless amount of money coming so that I could do just different things that I would think would help another person, like funding grants and things like that to help because it's a lot of things that people can't receive and get because they may not have the funding for it at the moment. So I would like to create grants and things of that nature. And to sell my jewelry and just to have a storefront, like, cause I can imagine it just all fairy-like, all in the front with all the greenery, and just to walk in and you feel like you're actually walking into a fairy hut. Like that is, and I would like those to be like a chain and just have people that are inspiring to start their own business to come work. You'll get guidance and you can sell if you have something that you want to sell in the shop. By all means, you can do it for free. No cuts or anything like that because I understand like it's very hard to try to start a business when limited funds and knowledge sometimes.
So tell us, how does the lifestyle you embody in this present moment reflect that long-term legacy?
Oh, sorry, can you guys say that again?
So what I'm basically saying is, what are you doing today? How are you living in this present moment, reflecting and pouring into that vision of your long-term legacy?
Okay, right now putting in the groundwork, just taking care of myself mentally, taking care of myself emotionally so that I may show up for my business. Oh no, I was trying to talk louder. Okay, so to try to show up for self mentally and emotionally so that I can pour into my business now. making connections now, networking, figuring out what works for me so that I can continue on this path of where I want to get to.
You speak about connections, and the first thing that came to my business mind is, have you been to any of the Heart Within's community gatherings? If not, what is stopping you?
Yeah, I haven't. Nothing is stopping me. I think, like,
Are you excited for the upcoming event that we have?
yes, yes. I know that I know that it was talked about a plethora of things that will be done, and I cannot wait for these workshops. Like,
What are you most excited about for the one in August?
Just learning new things about my chakras. Like, oh, I'm sorry, just learning new things about my chakras. Learning how to be in alignment. Just being able to gain some information from someone that is, I would say, more knowledgeable in this sense, but just to make that connection with someone new and learn something new.
Okay. When you hear the Heart Within, what ignites inside of your mind?
Oneness. I think when I think about that, I think about the logo, how it is a plethora of different colors. So that I feel like embodies each part of you and each emotion. So I think like when you have it stacked like that, it's like, or have it flowing like that, it's balanced. So I think about, yeah, oneness.
I'm dancing, I'm celebrating because that was the whole point of my design
Really?
behind it. Is to, because you know the rainbow represents the four spectrum of light, the dark and the light. You think about the prism and how the fracture of light and the little bit of mist creates color, sight, everything, life. And having all of that put into the lotus just amplifies how when you go on that path of being in alignment and allowing yourself to have the human experience, which is honestly embracing all of the emotions, every sensation, the full spectrum, you are allowing yourself to be uprooted out of the darkness, out of the shadows, out of the what do you call it, the pains and the aches and the weeds, and knowing that your roots are strong. And then of course the center is like a peace sign. It's like one.
Okay, and you know how I said something about flow? The lotus pose. Okay, but yes. That is so cool though. I told you.
So I can see the expression, but I want to hear it in words. How does all of that make you feel when you see or hear the logo?
It makes me feel like I am in alignment and I'm on the right path to helping to find oneness and balance within myself. Finding my heart within. Yeah. So that makes me feel really, really good. Really optimistic, really hopeful.
Now, how has the Heart Within been beneficial for you on your journey so far?
I have gained some insight from the posts that I received on
Yeah. Check a little bit louder.
Okay. So I gained some knowledge from the posts that are up on the Instagram. that I follow. And seeing some of the videos has helped me to find different ways of meditation, different things that will help me internally, as far as like teas and things of that nature. And just getting out into nature, because that's what most of the videos is out in nature, just having fun, getting in touch with self, grounding. Oh, and Reiki. Gotta get some of that.
How was your experience with Reiki?
It was really good. I felt a shift afterwards. It felt kind of like a reset, if that makes sense. And I felt very relaxed. Very relaxed.
Are you ready to transform like never before?
I am.
And where does it all begin?
The heart within.